First impressions matter, especially in big-budget filmmaking, where one bad launch can haunt an entire franchise. It feels like just yesterday, James Gunn was welcomed as the supposed savior of DC films. After years of stumbling attempts, from the dark Zack Snyder era to the brief girl boss studio phase to The Rock's ambitious but short-lived takeover, fans were desperate for fresh leadership. And when Gunn, the celebrated mind behind Guardians of the Galaxy, stepped in, many believed hope had finally arrived. But the honeymoon didn't last long. Despite the excitement, Gunn made several controversial decisions right out of the gate. He let go of the most popular Superman actor since Christopher Reeve, only weeks after the actor publicly announced his return. Nearly every upcoming DC project was canceled, except those connected to people close to Gunn. And even though he built his name on a distinct, quirky style, it became clear he was trying to shape every corner of DC into his signature formula. Still, some fans remained optimistic. They told themselves that everything would eventually work out. But it didn't. The enthusiasm faded fast. One underperforming movie and two disappointing TV shows later, the wider audience seems to have reached the same conclusion. This plan might not have been the right one. A recent Forbes report painted a tough picture for Gunn's Superman. Despite a worldwide total of $615 million, the movie earned only a little over $300 million after distribution cuts. That wasn't enough to cover its combined production and marketing costs, meaning the film ultimately lost money. And when a publication like Forbes, known for leaning positive on big studios, labels a project a failure, it means the numbers weren't good. And this wasn't just any character. This was Superman, arguably the most iconic superhero in history. If DC couldn't even get him to resonate with general audiences, what hope is there for the rest of the lineup? Things didn't improve on the television side either. Creature Commandos, Gunn's first official DCU entry, barely made a ripple. The show had little audience engagement, and its loose connection to the larger DCU made it easy for viewers to ignore. Then came Peacemaker Season 2, one of Gunn's personal favorites, starring his wife and heavily promoted as essential to DC's future. But despite the hype, it failed to break into the Nielsen Top 10. Online discussion was minimal, and the show's heavy-handed political messages divided an already small fan base. After a strong premiere, interest rapidly declined, and a potential third season was canceled before Season 2 even finished airing. Now, with audience excitement at an all-time low, the DCU is struggling before it's even properly begun. And based on what's coming next, Supergirl and Clayface, many fans doubt these titles can succeed if even Superman couldn't. At this point, it may be time to admit the obvious. James Gunn wasn't the reset DC needed. One major issue was his decision to not fully separate from the chaotic DCEU that came before him. By the time Gunn arrived, the franchise was tangled with conflicting visions, abandoned storylines, multiple Batman actors, disconnected Joker films, and remnants of previous directors. Instead of clearing the slate and restarting after a cool-down period, Gunn chose a half reset, canceling most projects while keeping those connected to his own work, like the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Meanwhile, the Matt Reeves Batman and the Todd Phillips Joker were left in separate universes, with Gunn planning to introduce yet another Batman and Joker for the DCU. The result? A confusing mix that felt messy, rushed, and hard for audiences to commit to. His second major mistake was forcing his personal style onto every project. Gunn has strengths, no doubt, but his storytelling comfort zone is narrow. Most of his movies follow a familiar pattern: a quirky team of flawed characters, snarky humor, pop music-backed action scenes, and a troubled lead finding a family among misfits. It works in some cases, but it doesn't fit every character. Superman was the clearest example. Gunn tried to mold the character into his usual tone, but it clashed with what makes Superman iconic. The humor felt misplaced, the tone felt off, and the character felt forced into a mold that didn't suit him. More and more, the DCU began to resemble Gunn's personal playground, where projects featuring his friends and family survived while others were cut. And instead of shaping DC around the audience's expectations, the franchise seemed increasingly shaped around what he wanted. But heading a billion-dollar universe means putting the fans first, not personal preferences. Now, with rumors swirling about a possible Warner Brothers acquisition by Paramount, insiders say Gunn and the DCU might be the first things removed. And honestly, many wouldn't be surprised. The early missteps, the inconsistent tone, and the lack of a clean reboot have left the DCU without momentum. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and for James Gunn's DCU, this might have been the last one he gets.